Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/cheating stories, where OP's wife confessed to an affair almost a decade ago. Let's begin. 2.5 years down the drain. Posted by Reddit user Choice Cook.
My now ex-girlfriend had a one-night stand 5 nights ago while she was in her hometown, approximately 1,000 miles away. She was there for work, a good job opportunity, and I was supposed to come see her soon and figure out when I would be moving to where she is, somewhere in Michigan. She was away for 7 weeks, almost 2 months before this happened. It was somebody she didn't even know. She had just met them, playing tennis even. She was distant and didn't know what to say for a couple days. Then she admitted she couldn't lie and told me. I'm not sure if it's the guilt talking, but she regrets. Worst day of her life. So sorry, yada yada yada. She's going to see a therapist today to see why she did it. We didn't lack in the sexual department, so I'm bewildered. I'm wondering if she really wanted to be forgiven. Would she have flown back to ask for forgiveness immediately? Am I missing something? I should note that I have been blocking and unblocking periodically because the last few days have been hard and I didn't know what to do. I can't sleep, I can barely eat, food has no taste, I've had the shakes for days like an old man. I'm an attractive and shaped 26-year-old, she's almost 23, I met her when she was young. For context, we just returned from living abroad for the last 5 months on June 8th to the States. I sent her packing for work to her hometown for a good opportunity and here I am. We've traveled to 6 different countries in the last year. We were super affectionate and I thought we were madly in love. I know we're very sexual people, but I never would have thought I'd be stabbed in the back by my best friend and partner. I didn't do anything to deserve this. Is forgiveness possible? The mental images the first few days were brutal. My imagination went wild. How do people forgive their partners for a momentary lapse of judgment? I mean, she chose to be single that day, fully knowing what would happen. I don't know. This is a first.
She doesn't need to go to therapy to figure out why she did it. We all know the answer anyways. Look man, she failed the wife test. It's better to find out now rather than after marriage and kids. Kick her out and move on, OP. And now for today's second story. The girl I hooked up with has a boyfriend and I didn't know. Posted by Reddit user G-Loading.
I started going to university at the beginning of fall last year, and during the freshers intro I met this girl Kate. She was stunning. She had black hair, but her green eyes couldn't make me take my eyes off her. She and her flatmates ended up eating dinner with us that day and I struck up a conversation with her and got her Instagram. I proceeded to not see her for the next couple of weeks because I had a lot of classes. I then met her at a bar when I went out with my friends and I found out my best friend was dating one of her flatmates. They knew each other from the age of like 6. I struck up another conversation with Kate. The bar was very loud and we were slightly intoxicated and she thought it'd be a good idea to sit on my lap so I could hear her better. Nothing happened further beyond that night, but the morning after Ray told me that one of her flatmates had a thing for Kate and had bought her drinks and everything that night. I had met him before and he was a good guy, and Ray said in a joking manner that I stole the dude's girl. I knew he meant it in a light-hearted way, but I genuinely did feel bad, so the next time we went out as a group I got him his drinks and told him to honestly shoot his shot. For context, he isn't a very confident guy, but most girls would find him attractive. He's at about 6'2" Caucasian and I'm a 6 feet African. Anyway, he ends up talking to her and I decide to leave the bar at around midnight to give them their space. Later at around 2 in the morning she texts me asking me why I had left, and that the night wasn't as fun without me around. I already had several drinks when I had come back, so I suggested for afters at mine. We slept together. It was amazing. She then sent a snap to someone who I didn't know at the time was her boyfriend, which I found out a couple of days later. He found my Instagram and sent me a message being all confrontational because he assumed I knew they were dating. I didn't, and I took advantage of the fact that he wasn't around. Now it's kinda weird between both of our friend groups and I don't know what to do. Any advice would be highly appreciated.
OP, I think this comment by Reddit user MT Education is very solid, so listen to it.
Talk to him and tell the truth. Let him know you even walked away at one point, but she called and pursued you. You had no clue she had a boyfriend as she was the one really chasing you, so naturally you thought she must be single. Let him know what she did, and you aren't going to contact her anymore after finding out she already has a guy. At some point, he will either figure out she is at fault, or you can just block both of them and let your group know what she is really doing and the trouble that comes with it.
And now for today's final story. My wife lost our baby. We divorced and now I'm moving on. Posted by Reddit user Just Another Redditor.
Well, my now ex-wife was 2 months pregnant. When she found out she was pregnant, she asked me to talk and told me that halfway through our relationship as a couple, and half a year before our marriage, she cheated on me with her best friend, with whom she currently has no communication. Currently, we have been married for 8 years, and she told me that she wanted to confess it because a child was going to be a change in our lives, and that she wanted to start it off right in order to be good parents. In her words, it's for having a clean beginning.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
I obviously asked her the most logical question of all. I asked her if that child was really mine, knowing that if she cheated once she could have done it more times, for some reason that made her cry. I was totally angry with her, but I didn't want to hurt her. However, I didn't want to comfort her either, so I left the room and went to another side of the house to think about my action plan. Hours later, I was sitting in the sofa. During those hours, I did not go to see her at any time. I did not want to see her face. I heard her calling me, almost screaming. I approached her and she was in the bathroom bleeding quite a bit down there. We went to the hospital and apparently, she had a miscarriage. According to the doctor, it was not something forced nor product of some medication. Maybe it was an emotional shock, something that already happened to her before. While she was sitting on her stretcher waiting to be discharged, she asked me what I thought about all this. I just said that maybe it was for the best since a child would make the divorce more difficult. Words that made her cry again. I'm not going to lie, I love her, but at the same time I don't trust her anymore. If she could hide a slip for almost a decade, I don't know what else she could have hidden. Maybe this is just the tip of the iceberg. The only thing that haunts me now is to know if that son was mine or not. According to her, she has been faithful to me since then. And she never spoke or saw any man other than me, which I did not ask her to do, but obviously I also have to question that. Our relationship was quite good, but now I also have to doubt if every good deed she did for me was out of true love or it was just guilt for cheating on me. Anyway, I'm already planning a divorce. Thank God that son wasn't born, because otherwise everything would have been more complicated. As I said, I love her, but I can't live knowing every action she made for me could be a lie, and also, I'm not forgiving a cheating. Now, I want to clarify one thing. In my country there is something called divorce by mutual agreement, which is a process that lasts less than a month, in which you will not go to any trial, just a signing of papers by both parties. It is made clear that we both want a divorce. The following conditions exist to be able to carry out this type of procedure. 1. Both must agree. 2. That 2 years or more have passed since their marriage. We have been married for 8 years. 3. If there are minor or older children with disabilities, everything related to parental authority, food, tenure, visits, guardianship must be resolved. We do not have children. 4. Not having property in common. We have separate finances. Well, 2 days later she called me and told me to go to my father-in-law's house to talk, where she is since her father picked her up from the hospital that night. I went with the papers that my lawyer had given me that she had to sign, in case I could convince her. I arrived. She was with her father, a 70-year-old man. She has not been related to her mother or siblings since she started university because her parents are separated, and she was the only one who wanted to stay with her father, so he is the only one with her. We talked about everything that happened, and after a few hours, she ended up signing all the papers. She asked me if I hated her. I told her that I don't feel the same love for her, but that I felt respect for her courage to confess something that she could have kept for her. I wished her good luck and told her to recover, that I love her but that I can't trust her anymore, and that the healthiest thing is for each one to get ahead on their own. We gave each other one last hug and kiss, and I told her I would take care of everything and that if I needed anything I would let her know. Now I just have to take the papers to be legalized by a notary and then take it to the civil registries for the registration of the divorce in the civil registry. Although I'm happy that this was solved the easy way, I still have a pain in my chest from everything that happened. I'll start therapy next week and I'll get through it, I guess. For those who wonder why I didn't consent to this infidelity even though it was almost a decade ago. I grew up in a family where both parents were unfaithful to each other and forgave each other. I ended up leaving that house as soon as I could because the discussions taking everything past and face were an everyday thing. I don't want to go through the same thing or make my future children have to hear the same thing that I heard. Now a week has passed, I have gone to the psychologist and I feel that I am improving. The truth is that I am very hopeful about the future, but I feel that I will have to be more careful in my next relationship. But at the same time, I do not want to mistrust my new partner. The truth is that this is very difficult, but I just have to move on. Yes, I already presented the notarized and signed divorce papers to public records. My status should change to divorced in less than 2 weeks. I don't know how my ex-wife is doing. I haven't called her, but at least she has her dad to support her. TDLR, I'm divorcing my wife after she confessed that she cheated on me almost a decade ago.
And then, we have this comment by Reddit user Richard's World again.
She knew what would happen if she told you but could not live with the guilt anymore, and telling you ruined her marriage. This is what happens with cheating. The guilt eats away at you over time. You are both better off and can start again, hopefully this time without cheating.
I absolutely disagree. I don't think she confessed because she's guilty. She told OP because she knew for a fact that the baby wasn't his. And I highly doubt that losing the baby was unintentional, especially because OP called her out on it. You made the right decision, man, and I hope you the best moving forward. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.